Today we are going to talk about probably one of the most underused sections of Semrush, and that is the under advertising. It's called advertising research. So in this example today, we're going to pretend like we are the Salvation Army in Australia. So this is just an organization that really supports homelessness. We're going to pretend like this is us, the Salvation Army. And what we're going to be doing is, so prior to starting any campaigns or, really working with the client, we're going to do a bit of competitor research. So we're going to grab one of their top competitors, which is the Mission Australia. So they do very similar causes here. So what we're going to do is really take a look using the Semrush tools at what we can see Mission Australia is already running in terms of paid advertising. So let's go ahead and jump straight into it. Again, there will be a link below this video to sign up to Semrush. There is a free trial, so you'll be able to use all of these tools for free. This is my favorite tool to use for competitor research. I think really nothing compares to it. So if you haven't ever used Semrush, absolutely recommend just jumping in, doing the free trial, and just clicking around to really seeing how you can really do a better job for your... Alright, so in the Semrush platform here, we're just going to jump straight into advertising. So once we're in advertising, we'll go ahead and go to advertising research. And once we get into advertising research, we're going to type in missionaustralia.com.au. And then what we're going to do is select the root domain. So that just means we want to include the entire domain, and then we will hit search. So why should we use the advertising research reports? Well, by gathering information on our competitors' advertising strategies, we can really determine what their strengths and weaknesses are and where we can really come out ahead. By identifying the keywords, paid keywords that our competitors are ranking on, we can really determine sort of the areas that we would also like to rank on, or areas that, perhaps are too expensive and there's too much competition, and really ruling out keywords to rank on is what I generally like to use Semrush for. So with the proper research planning before launching a campaign, so, if you come into, the end of financial year and you see your clicks are dropping and your cost per click is skyrocketing, you're already going to know that that's going to be ahead. So that's really, this planning stage really sets you up for success, so that when you're going to have, potential increases in costs, decreases in performance, so that you can really set that up for your client, just so that they're aware of that, which is really a proactive management strategy, versus once it happens saying, oh, well, the cost per click increased by, X% and we lost out on this amount of conversions, right? We need to be proactive. When you're proactively managing your accounts, amazing things will happen in terms of your relationship with your clients and really the performance. So this is just going to give us a bird's eye view of sort of all of the advertising research options that we have for Mission. So I like to click directly into the ad copies. And this is one of my favorite tabs, mostly because if you're anything like me, in the past, when I was looking for my competitors' ads, I would literally have to go into Google and type in all the competitors' names, or, donate to charity, donate to X, to try to find what the other competitors were running on their ads and sort of see what's working, what's not. But here, it's just so amazing to get all of the ads spit out just in one section, so I can really see what Mission Australia is using for their ad copies. And if you are like me and you're like, wow, this is amazing, all this ad copy looks great, I'm really going to blow your mind, because it also is going to show us the number of keywords that were utilized to trigger this ad, as well as the exact keywords. So I'm just going to click the down arrow, and we can see the exact 77 keywords that were used to trigger this advertisement. Of course, if we wanted to click on it, we could then see the landing page that they're utilizing as well. So this is one of my absolute favorite tools to just get a spit out of all the competitor ads, so that when I'm crafting the advertisements for my client, I can say, well, Mission is using this sort of wording on these keywords, and that's why we should try this wording, right? You never want to just like make up ads as you go. because we really want to base it off of something that we already know. And in this case, we already know that this advertisement is working for Mission Australia because they're utilizing it for 77 keywords. So try to go for ads that have a high amount of keywords attached to them so that you can see exactly what's working for another organization. So we've checked out the ads that the organization is using. So now you might say, okay, well, what keywords are they using? So we're going to go to the ads history report. So the ads history report is showing us the top 8 paid positions over the past 12 months for all the keywords that Mission Australia has bid on, right? So this is just going to show us those keywords that made it in the top 8 positions. For someone like Mission Australia, they have a whole lot of keywords. Like we can see that there are 1,427 keywords that have made it in the top 8 positions in the past 12 months. So I would highly recommend throwing a few filters on here straight away just to sort of make the data more readable. I'm just going to jump straight into the donate keywords. So a lot of nonprofit organizations want to bid on donate to charity, donate to homelessness, whatever is relevant to their cause, but a lot of them aren't really prepared to pay the cost per click that is associated with that keyword. So let's just go straight to those donate keywords. I'll just click on the advanced filter. I'm going to include keyword that contains donate to, and we'll hit apply. So now this is likely going to come up with the keywords that are like donate to charity, donate to homelessness. So there we go. We're not necessarily going to be targeting competitor keywords. So we're not going to be using like donate to Smith's family or donate to the Red Cross. Donate to Salvus actually is us because we are the Salvation Army. So we don't need to worry about any of those. Go ahead and click on the coverage percentage. So that's just going to sort so that we want to see the highest percent of coverage on the keyword. So I generally like to see what the organization is spending the most on or what they're getting the most coverage on. So let's go ahead and skip all of these competitor type keywords and we'll look at donate to homeless. Okay, it looks like they have about a 25% coverage on this keyword. The cost per click is around $4. I think it's a little bit higher than that actually, but that's somewhat close. And then it's saying volume is 50, traffic is 2. Now, volume does refer to the amount of times that a user searched for that keyword, donate to homeless, and then traffic refers to the amount of traffic that the advertiser received from the paid advertisements. We can start to sort of look at this graph over here, and just to give a little information, so this is split out by month, and then based on whatever number shows here, it's basically saying utilizing that keyword held position 2 during June. Okay, so the number will be either 1 through 8. That'll give you an idea of what position the advertiser secured. So looking at this chart, just to see trend-wise, we can see that there is a clear uptake in bidding. We can see really, really high in May and then pretty high in June as well, we see here. So that in Australia, that's the financial year. So a lot of people like to do end of financial year donations. So we can definitely see how much competition there is going to be in May and June. And then if we just look sort of throughout the rest of the year, we see obviously around the Christmas appeals, right? We have our November and December is pretty heavy. A little bit of activity in March too. There might be another appeal that popped up, emergency appeal. That's pretty much it. So we could get a really good idea of when competition is going to be the highest in the market, right? May, June, and then around November, December, around Christmas. So that is quite basic, like that's quite obvious. But this can really show us exactly how much the cost per click is going to cost during that time. The best bit about sort of this chart is that if we want to find a really competitive time of year, so let's say June is quite competitive, we'll go donate to a charity. So it looks like Mission is holding position 1 during June for this keyword. So let's click into the number 1. And then we can see the exact advertisement that was used during June or that is currently being utilized. And then we can also see the cost per click, right? So this shows us on average how much the advertiser paid to hold position 1 cost per click, which is, $7.72, almost $8, which sounds about right. That's pretty high. We can go back to that donate to homeless up here. We'll click on this. So to hold position 2, the advertiser would have paid around $4.29 for this, about $5. So this is just really to give you an idea of what you can expect to pay cost per click during the peak periods, during high seasonality for a particular keyword, and then secondly, what advertisements the advertiser is running during that period as well. So it can really give you an idea of advertisements, that are working really, and then prioritize, perhaps including some sort of messaging that aligns close to what you are seeing. For sure, I can see that, and I know from experience that using dollar handles is really good across nonprofit ads, especially when you can back it up with a statistic. These are both really good hacks that you can utilize. So we can see right here, $253 can help provide crisis accommodation for a family escaping homelessness. That's really incredible to show the searcher, because if you're thinking about donating and you have an extra $253, you can directly save a family from homelessness. So that really helps the searcher visualize what the money is doing and where it's going, and then backing it up with a statistic, which it's saying over 15,000 Australian children under 12 will be homeless on Christmas Eve. Right, so that's just really, backing it up and saying that there is a massive need for your $253 donation. So that's something that we can pull out from our research today to make sure that we use dollar handles, statistics, and then to really consider, if we are going to be bidding on these donate to homelessness, donate to charity, donate to etc., we need to be prepared to pay for it. Depending on what your conversion rate is on site, you can then look at how much volume, how many clicks you need to get to your website, during that campaign period. And then you can then look at that volume, times it by the average cost per click, and then evaluate what budget you would need to put forward to get that amount of traffic to your site. So it's really all about doing a bit of research in the back end first before you run your campaign, so that you know what you're going to expect. Communicate this to your team or communicate to your client, get them ready for what their potential campaign performance and results are going to look like, how much it's going to cost, how competitive it's going to be, what sort of ads other advertisers are using. And it's really just going to make your job easier when the campaign launches. You're not worried about that stuff, you already know it. And we really just scratched the surface of using this, using the advertising research report during this quick video recording. Don't forget to click the link below to sign up for your free trial of Semrush, and please let me know how your competitor research goes. If you liked the video today, go ahead and hit subscribe below and make sure to stay up to date with all of my new videos on showing you how to be a better paid search marketer.